Hello, replay people. We're just waiting to see everybody because it's story time. It's been a day, by the way. Been a day. I'll tell you all about it when more people come on. Hi, Gretchen. Good to see you, my friend. I'll tell you what. First of all, Pittsburgh weather. It's no bueno. And I miss Florida. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Willow. Thank you so much. Hi, LaDonna. Hello, Donna. Yay, my people are coming on. Hello, everybody. There's going to be a freeze warning here tomorrow or tonight or something. I just saw the word freeze warning and I was like, wait a minute, what? It's May. It's the middle of May. Almost. Okay, it's a little bit early May, but anyway, no, it's almost the middle of May. And they're issuing freeze warnings. What are you going to do? Hi, Catherine. Everyone's here for story time. Super exciting. Because I have to ask your opinion. Okay, so since I'm here, I've been working. Hello, Wes. I have been working on several projects, and it is super, super hard, first of all. Hey, Tex, super hard to be an author these days. To work, to dedicate, it just it's tough. But I have a bunch of deadlines coming up. And one of the biggest deadlines I have actually is 9/11 because it's going to be the 25th anniversary of 9/11. And I wrote a book that I published on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And yeah, Rutro is right. Because I want to at least like reissue my book. I have a situation I'm dealing with. I don't know if I should talk about it on here, probably not. So, but anyway, um, yeah, I'm trying to do that. But in working on that book, I have to think a lot about 9/11 and the way it changed our society, because that's what I wrote about in my first book. But now in the second book, I want to write about the way my first book taught me more about 9/11. Thank you, Donna, very much. That is my website, jillbooks.com. Please consider buying a book. I'm extending my offer of a free peacock feather this month, especially in honor of my incoming grandchild. So every order does get a peacock feather with the book. So, okay, I've got this newspaper article, and it was the Pittsburgh Post Gazette. I know it's backwards, but anyway, published on Monday, May 27th, 2002. And I held on to this issue of the Pittsburgh Post Gazette, not because I have any articles in it, although back in 2002, I did have a lot of articles in the Post Gazette, but I don't think I had any in this episode. No, this is like a paper. I was North Section girl, so kind of like the redheaded stepchild. Anyway, I kept this issue of the Pittsburgh Post Gazette from May 27th, 2002. So we're going back, what is that, 24 years ago? 24 years ago. Oh, thank you so much, Savage. I really. So we're going back 24 years ago. And this was published, a year after 9/11 in May. And I thought it was one of the very best articles I'd ever seen about 9/11. I would like to read it to you, but it is very difficult and I'm probably going to cry. So, you guys tell me if you want me to read this article to you. It's called Fighting to Live as the Towers Died. And it was originally published in the New York Times. So there's no author to it because I think that it was written by several different people actually. Let me see if there's a list of who wrote it. Oh, it was reported and written by, yeah, three people: Jim Dwyer, Eric Lipton, Kevin Flynn, and James Glanz, and Ford Fessenden. So, five people contributed to this article. Let me know if you want me to read it to you. I will not be able to read the whole thing. It's pretty long, but I can read you a section of it and then we can discuss if you'd like, whatever you want. Now, I'm working on another book, which is the sequel to my first book. Well, this isn't my first, my second book, but this is my book about my adoption. Do you think about me on my birthday? Hi, David. Donna wants to hear it. All right, Donna, well, let's see if anybody else does. So anyway, my book, Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? So I'm writing a sequel to that book, which I need to get out because I've been working on this for so many years and I published this book in 2025, so it's definitely time for the sequel. Everybody's been asking for it, and because that book, but I mean, it all works together. Anyway, I've been working on stuff for that book, and I thought I could read that to you as well. And by the way, this stuff is all kind of rough draft stuff, but I just feel like it's hard for me to do shows when I'm working on books because, it's different energy doing a beach report or writing a book. And sometimes I have to really focus on the book writing part. But you guys can help me with that because you keep asking for audiobooks. So it helps me to read the books to you. First of all, it gives me good practice, but it kind of tells me what I need to do to write the book and to write it also in a way that it can be an audiobook since everybody wants an audiobook. So your opinion means a lot to me. And I know the beach report is not it's no fun without the beach. I get that. I agree. I agree. And you know, going hiking in the forest here, it's not the same, is it? I miss the beach. However, we will be back at the beach in a couple of weeks because I have to be up here and I can go to the beach maybe on the East Coast beach in Pittsburgh unless you go all the way up to Erie, and believe me, I considered it. However, I think it's even colder in Erie than it is down here in southwestern Pennsylvania, so not doing that. All right, so I need a show of hands. Who wants to hear who wants to hear about traveling to Europe and who wants to hear about 9/11? So I can go either way. I can do both. But I gotta pick a first one because the first one will probably change the whole mood if it's the 9/11 one. So let me know. Catherine says 9/11. All right, Donna said 9/11. Anybody else want to weigh in? Because I'm gearing up for the 9/11 book. I mean, the 9/11 article. Oh, well, Willow wants to know traveling to Europe. Oh my goodness. Wow. We need two more people to either break this tie or keep it going. Let me know. You guys gotta weigh in. You gotta help me out. I'll just start singing a song while I wait. I don't know what to sing though. What do we sing right now? On the long and lonesome highway east of Omaha. You know, that's another problem. Every time. Oh, Europe. Okay. Oh, we got two for Europe. We got Europe. We got Europe, Gretchen. Okay, that's it. We're going to start with Europe. I'm actually glad because 9/11 is going to make us very sad. So thank you. Okay. So this starts out, Paul says Europe. Okay. Hi, Kat. Where are you going? You're not going to stay for story time? It's always good to see you, though. All right, we'll see if a few more people come on and then I'm going to start reading. Um, this little Gretchen doesn't want to cry. Well, my traveling to Europe story will not make you cry. That's for sure. It's actually kind of fun. All right, I'm just going to start how it all began. Okay, and before I start, I got to say this what I've written here is in three different parts. And when you write a story, for those of you who are writers or want to be writers, writing your own memoirs, there are many ways to start a story. You can start it in the past and work your way back. You can start it in the present and work your way up. Different ways that you can do this. So I'm just going to read it to you as I wrote it. I'm being a little bit harsh on myself right now when I read it. Hi, Pond. And okay, so it starts like this: what it's like to live in Switzerland all of the time. Until I was 24 years old, the only foreign countries I'd ever been to were Canada and Mexico. Now I'm 30 something, and I find myself raising two small children in a tiny Swiss village not 5 minutes walk to the French border. Was it destiny, fate, or me? Thank you, Pond. I wonder as I gaze out at our picturesque village nestled snugly in the corner of a small valley of farmland. Not so very long ago, I could climb out of my bedroom window onto a fire escape and see a magnificent view featuring the Statue of Liberty's armpit and a picture postcard perfect look at New York City. These days, when I walk onto the Swiss style balcony off my bedroom suite, I'm checking out fields of corn and wheat, a large horse farm, and the locally famous Catholic church that is the centerpiece of the border village I now call home. Hi, Darla. Oh, you're right on time. Does anybody remember Jilko, the wild child who used to cruise up and down the East Coast, checking in at Grateful Dead shows and partying on the beaches, free as a bird? Well, she's long gone now, metamorphosed into the lady of the house, Frau Kuhne, also known as Mommy. The girl who used to claim the Pennsylvania Turnpike as her own, having paid thousands in tolls, now drives a station wagon filled with two children and a dog on the Swiss Autobahn. December 26th, 1997. Christmas Day in Rosens, Switzerland with the Cooney family, and friends had me feeling like a visitor from another planet who's invaded this regular rural Swiss family and sits like the fungus among us. From time to time, my father-in-law will shout at me across the table, Verstehst du? regardless of whether I'm watching his conversation with some interest or whether I'm in the process of convincing one of my children to eat. Most of the time, I am simply not paying attention to all of the grown up gobbledygook in Swiss German at the table. Yet, if I merely catch his eye, he makes a big point of saying how sad it is that I don't understand. Hi, Nicole. Hi, George Lopez. However, I have sat at enough American tables listening to my own family chatting away in gobbledygook that I do comprehend and wish I could excuse my disinterest with a limited knowledge of the dialect. And from what my husband tells me, even they don't get their dad's stories half the time. Nevertheless, I mill about them, half an ear cocked for words I know, but my attention primarily focused on keeping my son away from the candles and being the only person who appreciates my daughter's theatrical rendition of Dorothy landing in Oz. It's appropriate. It's so hard to believe that used to be my life. I'm still in Pittsburgh. Okay, so how it all began. I looked out of the plane's window and watched the United States shrink against the ocean, but I found myself thinking more about a man than about the great adventure ahead. I took the notebook from my purse and began composing a letter to tell him how much I would miss him during the next 3 weeks. My dearest. But before the pen continued to writing his name, I stopped it, my thoughts turning back to the memory of us in a cozy little restaurant in upstate New York a month ago. I'm taking a trip to Europe at the beginning of October. I had informed him nervously. I'm going by myself. That sounds interesting. He answered slowly while he squeezed my hand across the table, big puppy dog eyes looking suddenly concerned. When will you be back? I took a deep breath and relayed the words quickly. I'm not sure I will be coming back. Boy, where did that come from? I quickly closed my mouth before I could say anything else shocking. And I can tell you, he looked just as surprised out. What do you mean you won't be coming back? His puppy dog eyes widened. I took a sip of water and began moving the barely touched food around on my plate before answering. Well, my lease runs out in August, and I've been thinking that maybe it's time to move on. Ever since Nickelodeon took the show I was working for off the air, I haven't found a permanent job. What about your teleprompting job at National Video, your proofreading job at Rolling Stone? You're working a lot, aren't you? Those are just freelance jobs, I told him. And even though they're fun, it's not like they're holding me to New York City, I explained. Yeah, I'm not sure if I was looking for a commitment or looking to run away from an uncertain future, although I guess the number of freelance jobs I had, it seemed as though I could go on this way forever. My life was always like that. Something would come to an end, and just as something else was getting started, and even though I used to stress out over the uncertainty of the next paycheck, I always found another option and continued on my merry way. Then again, I didn't know what I wanted to do next. All I knew is my days as a single girl were numbered, and my 25th birthday was fast approaching, giving me about 3 months in which to find my prince. I always made plans, you see. For the past 2 years, I'd occasionally had fleeting thoughts about moving to Europe. Because after all the American guys I dated, I'd come to the conclusion that my destiny just might not be to marry a nice Jewish boy as I'd been raised to desire. And it seemed, indeed, that my soulmate may possibly be living on distant shores. So I decided to explore what opportunities were offered across the ocean. It was extremely important to me that I go alone, despite the fact that there were quite a few people who wanted to go with me. I was terrified of traveling to Europe myself. Yet I had the strongest feeling that it was something I needed to do. So for the past few months, I've been resigned to it. I'd gotten my passport, I'd purchased a first class Euro pass, and my airline tickets would arrive any day. I was ready, or so I thought, until a few weeks ago, when my brother set me up with a coworker of his. Well, one date, and this guy had me thinking that the nice Jewish boy plan was back in action. I fell head over chuppah for this guy, and going to Europe didn't seem like such a great idea anymore. Nevertheless, I'd opened my mouth and told him about my plan to defect, hoping he'd ask me to stay. Not that I would, or at least offer to wait for me. What if I asked you to stay? He asked quietly. Look, I need to go on this trip. But if I knew there was somebody waiting for me to come back, I might think twice about leaving for good, I told him. I will be waiting for you to come back, he told me, and ran his hand up the length of my arm. We spent the next weeks frantically falling in love. Increasingly, I'd begun to lose interest in my upcoming adventure, at times almost dreading the fact that I'd be away from him for those 3 weeks. In addition, I'd become more and more frightened at the prospect of traveling so far away all by myself. I'd never set foot out of North America, and what was once an exciting dream that could change and enrich my life became a source of anxiety. However, I was so determined to prove to everyone, especially myself, that I had the courage to go through with it. So I had that I had the courage to go through with it. So I swallowed my fear and remained silent during the times when he lamented my leaving, or grandma called with warnings about terrorists in European subways. Resolutely, I shook my head to empty the thoughts of this man from my mind. Europe, oh, he had, as of late, been encouraging me to let him do the thinking for both of us, which really turned me off. Well, I was thinking for and relying on number one now. And as I put my pen down to the paper, I ended up addressing the letter to myself. After all, I'd learned by now that the best person to rely on was me. Okay, there's a little bit more coming up. Hi, Lone. I'm on every day, maybe not 5 times a day, but I am on every day. You just have to look for me. It's good to see you. Hi, Bobby. So tonight we are doing some story time. And oh gosh, Nicole, I can't go back at this point because I am on a roll. And Darla wants me to read more, and Catherine does too. Or I don't know, Catherine says that was great. So uh you you're gonna have to hold off on your stuff tonight, Nicole, because this is part of my process as a writer. And it's sometimes really, really hard to focus on the writing. And if I don't do it, it's not going to get done because, like I said, I have to rely on myself. And before I read this next chapter, which was written in 1998, so the year afterward, it's called Love Makes People Do Strange Things. And it's I have not even looked at it, so I'm just gonna like blah. um, I don't know, Nicole, does your message have anything to do with writing or traveling to Europe or 9/11? We're gonna stay on top tonight because I personally I need to work on my stuff. It's like when I do the beach report, if I take my pedal off the metal, I mean, my foot off the gas or whatever, if I'm not doing 2 or 3 stories in a day, I I deflate. Like my numbers are so bad right now. I had like so many people I got up to over 15,000 um subscribers, which is super great. And I've got over 70 members, which is also super great. But my statistics, holy guacamole, um, yeah, like nobody's watching anymore. So I'm a little like, I only had 79 new subscribers in the past month. That's not very much. Usually it's over 500. So I'm like, anyway, I am a little bit freaked out about that. And it just tells me I have to work harder and harder and harder all the time, especially now that I'm over 60 and, um, almost a grandmother. I don't even want to talk about that till it happens, but anyway, I'm really focused on putting out a sequel to Do You Think About Me on My Birthday and a sequel to my 9/11 book, which some of you want to hear and some of you are a little bit about, and I get it because it will make you very sad if I read you this other article. So that said, I will Oh, darn. I am going to read to you this Love Makes People Do Strange Things. My friend went to the beach today, but can't go to the beach because of the rain. And then tomorrow more rain and rip currents. So Wednesday, yeah, it's tough with the beach. You just never know if it's going to be great or if it's going to be awful. Yeah, St. Augustine's a little bit up north too. So that's why I live in South Florida because I can count on the weather usually being really, really good. So that's what I do. Anyway, don't worry about your spelling. It's all good. So tell me if you guys are ready to hear this next chapter. Love makes people do strange things. And I have another question for you as well, which is, do you like the stories to be in first person? Because I'm exposing myself that way, but I don't know if I do it all in first person and just give everybody else nicknames, maybe that's okay. I don't really know. Or if I kind of do what I did with my book, Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, and make it like it's a story that is not really real. No, what do they call that? Um, uh, losing my thought on this one. It's not fiction, it's creative nonfiction, actually. So anyway, creative nonfiction. What Wait, what's going on? Oh no, you can't get rid of Pond. Pond is awesome. We like Pond. So yeah. Uh sorry about that, Pond. You're good. You're good. I'll be your mama. I'll be your mamacita. Yeah. Darla says third person. Yeah, you guys think third person is better? Because then I gotta change the whole thing. But do you think third person because it protects me or because it sounds better? Let me know. I don't know. I wrote all this stuff in first person, so and again, you're just hearing, really raw first draft. I mean, I haven't touched this since 1998. That's a big deal. Okay. Love makes people do strange things. Yeah. No, don't worry about it. Nicole, you don't have to worry about anybody kicking anyone off. It's all good. It's all good. All right, read it how you wrote it. Okay, I will do that. No, it's fine. It's fine. I have the rule that you have to be a member in order to be a mod. So I do have to stick to that. I can't make exceptions or I have to make exceptions for everybody. So it's all good. Anyway, love makes people do strange things. Look at how it made me move to Switzerland. I know because I have the rule that you have to be a member in order to be a mod. So I'm just trying to stick with my rules. That's all. It's not you didn't do anything wrong. It's if you're a member, you can be a mod. If you're not a member, you can't be a mod. That's all. Okay. And LaDonna says she likes first person. That's who it's about. No, I get that too. I unhid pond, darling. Okay. I'm going to start reading again. So pipe down, people. It gets distracting. Let me know if you're ready. Just tell me if you're ready. Oh, and Catherine says also first person. Maybe if I do it in first person, it will work. If again, I just obscure all the names in a way that's like, I just give people nicknames because I could do that too. Okay, you guys are great. Let's do this. Love makes people do strange things. Look at how it made me move to Switzerland. And looking back, I can see that I really must have been swept off of my feet to actually go through with planning to spend my future in a country unsuitable for me in four very important ways. For one, it's landlocked. And I'm a girl who needs the ocean to be nearby. There's a dolphin swimming around in my soul. And while having no direct access to the beach really bums me out. The popcorn machine. Sebastian, this is my friend's house actually. And this is the situation room. It's quick. Situation room. What happens in the situation room, stays in the situation room. And if we eat popcorn, we eat a lot of popcorn. Good eye, Sebastian. Okay. Okay, I'm listing the reasons why I should never move to Switzerland, okay? Okay, for one, it's landlocked, and I'm a girl who needs the ocean to be nearby. There's a dolphin swimming around in my soul, and well, having no direct access to the beach really bums me out. But he had pictures of dolphins and whales on the walls of his apartment, and I could see, even without him saying it, that he's an ocean boy too. And he pointed out to me that Pittsburgh's just as far away from the ocean as Switzerland. Yeah, well, that's why I moved east as soon as I'd finished college. But I figured that it would be easy to get him to take me to a beach every now and then. It was, however, even harder to ignore unsuitable aspect number two. They speak four languages in Switzerland, and not one of those four is English. So there I was with my journalism degree and unable to decipher even the Calvin and Hobbes cartoons in the local newspaper. Without my beloved language, I was more lost and helpless than Dorothy ever was after falling into Oz. Besides, this was no munchkin land full of happy people who wanted only to welcome and thank me for making their son so happy. No siree, there were wicked witches and evil flying monkeys galore. Even now, it brings shivers down my spine as I remember how frightening the Swiss became to me in those first few months. And although their guttural dialect was basically uninterpretable to me, I still knew what they were talking about me, which they very often were, and it was very disconcerting. And here's the main reason. At first, I thought it was a stroke of luck when he told me that his sister-in-law speaks fluent English and loves the States. However, she turned out to be a manipulative, jealous phobic when she met me and decided that I had become her worst nightmare. As a result, I was his brother's worst nightmare too. They later told me that my appearance in their family almost caused them to get divorced. So, as you might well have already guessed, the hostile family members of the greatest love of my life were horrific enough to be unsuitable aspect number three. A fourth aspect made Switzerland heartbreakingly unsuitable for me. A fourth aspect that made Switzerland heartbreakingly unsuitable for me was the mere fact of it's a long distance away from the people I love, my wonderful family and friends. And I spent many of those seemingly endless first weeks on crying jags, mourning my lost independence and my shattered support system. Yet there he was, trying his damnedest to convince me that I should stay and become his wife, his Frau. Throughout those months of before our fairy tale wedding, I kept thinking about Huddle from Fiddler on the Roof, singing to her father. Okay, now we have to sing. How can I hope to make you understand why I do what I do? Why I must travel to a distant land, far from the home I love. And I sing that song all the time. It made me weep knowing that my predicament was leading me far astray of my beloved home. Because as far as I was concerned, it felt like I was going to spend my future in Siberia. Now that I think, not that I think Switzerland is a frozen wasteland, mind you. In fact, it's the most beautiful, well kept country I've ever seen. Just the view from his apartment was breathtaking and featured an impressive castle ruins among mountain finery. Who's on? Hi, Bara. Thank you. It's so good to see you. He wined and dined me in alpine resort villages and made it clear that together we would produce beautiful children to complete the family of our dreams. And once I realized that our dreams were the same, all the unsuitable aspects went out the window. Unlike anyone else I'd ever thought I loved, this man presented me a picture of what I always yearned for and had have today, but you know, in 1997 or 1998. Two beautiful children, a magnificent, beautiful home, and a husband who loves me for who I am and who I am still in the process of becoming. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll convince him to sell the family business and give America a try. So I would love to hear your opinions on that one because that is the part of the beginning of my story. So, like, I don't know, Nicole, I'm sorry, I want to talk to you guys about this because it is it's a tough one, but a very dear friend of mine, like my best friend from high school, is visiting here in Pittsburgh, and her dad on the cellar steps and is in the hospital. So he's like in his 90s. So that's kind of on my heavy, weighing heavy on my mind. And I would love my prayer warriors to please say some prayers for him. So thank you. Hi Barbara, it's so good to see you from Michigan. Okay, you guys, you love it. You really love it. Yeah, thank you for the prayers. Um, I know it's really tough when somebody older has a fall. And I've been talking about this a lot lately. It's like we are all one bad fall away from disaster. And that's why you see me walking backwards all over the place because I am afraid of being one bad fall away from disaster. You know, the older you get, the the closer you are. You know what I mean? Anyway, I really thank you guys for listening to my chapters here because it does help me to read them to you and to figure out how I'm going to handle writing this story. So Gino Donna says that's why I wear walking shoes. Yeah, well, sometimes everybody wants popcorn now. I know that's a really great popcorn maker too. Hi, Solar. Sebastian says the thought of growing old gives me anxiety. Well, you shouldn't have anxiety because growing old is like, there's no other option. You're either going to grow old or you're not. So, thank you, Donna. And so don't be afraid of growing old. I mean, I'm 60 and I feel the best I probably ever have in my whole life. And here's something else about growing old. When two or more are gathered together, there am I in the midst of them, saith the Lord. Thank you so much, Darla, for that reminder. I appreciate it. Barbara says, I like the program that teaches people how to fall. We all fall. I just don't tell my doctor about it. And you're right. There are ways to fall that make you safe. Actually, my dad, whenever he would fall, he would go into this crazy looking roll. And I mean, he did that since we were kids, so it's always very embarrassing, but he never had a bad fall. He died of cancer. Niagara Falls outside busy. Is it cold there too, Solar? What's your temperature? Do you wish like and hit unpause? Okay. Let me know if you can. Okay. Let me know if you can see and hear me now. Did I bring it back? Looks like it on my end. Give me a sound check. Yay, woo, woo, I'm back. Okay. All right. We are always having technical difficulties, aren't we? It's like you think technology, it's supposed to be so wonderful, right? And half the time it doesn't even work. Yeah. Okay, good. This time it was not you, Darla. It was not you. In and out. Really? Yeah, about pausing life. Yeah. No, I always want to see what the next part is. Let me see. I thought I unhid Pond. I know I haven't seen Pond say anything. Pond might have left. You shouldn't be muted. Okay. What about now? Can you hear me now? This is so annoying. I'm not muted. Okay. Oh, I know. Maybe I am. Wait, if Darla can hear me, then it's you. Okay. Darla says it's good. So if one person hears me, then okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Thank you guys. So if you can't hear me, that's on you. Anyway, do you guys want me to read the 9/11 article, or are you a little scared of it? Because I can, you see what else I have in Switzerland. Oh my gosh, I have a big poem here. I have a little poem too. I'll read you the little poem. Hi, CK. Yes, I'm still in the Steel City. And I'm doing some story time tonight. So just reading different things that I've been working on. And okay, all right, Sherry. This poem is called Restless. And this was written in the late 90s as well. I don't have a date on it though. Restless. For long ago freedoms to sleep, to eat, to go for a run. When impulse hit and life was fun. Restless then, don't forget, certain desires had not been met. A family was once a goal, to need, to care, to not be alone, to want to stay and call it home. Restless now to get the job done. So yeah, I've been writing all the Switzerland stuff, and I'm about to become a grandmother, so I've got babies on the brain. Every time I go anywhere, what's the first thing I see? A little newborn baby. They're everywhere. I swear there's a baby boom going on, and if you are also seeing babies, raise your hand. But I'm super excited to actually be part of the baby boom and the second generation of it, because being a grandma is going to be way more fun than being a mom. I found being a mother to be very difficult, especially there is a baby boom. Okay, and why? Why is there a baby boom all of a sudden? I don't even understand why it's happening. Panama City from my hometown. Oh, Panama City, super far away, Nicole, like 6 hours, 5, 6 hours away. So I think it's a lot of fun, and however, I'm like constantly reminded about what it was like to become a mom myself. I'm kind of like reliving things and going through stuff. And how many of you are about to become grandparents too? It seems like all of my friends are going through this. And if you're not, you might be going through it soon. So, 3 teachers are having babies. I refuse to drink the school water. You're so funny, Darla. Okay, well, I'm gonna read a I'm gonna read this long poem. You guys said you wanted to hear it, and it's called Make No Mistake, and it is actually about my adoption, and 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 this was I'm just gonna read it. No judgments, right? No judgments. You guys wanted to hear story time, and I'm exploring everything. So, who's that? Renee. Oh, it's so good to see you. Hugs and kisses to you, Renee. Read this one that it's like almost this week. May 19th, 1998. Like I was busy in the month of May. Okay, let me know when you're ready to hear this crazy poem called Make No Mistake, about being an unwanted pregnancy. That's what this is about. So let me know when you're ready. All right, Darla's ready. Need some more readies here. I need to get ready myself. Okay, great, Catherine. Thank you. All right, anybody else ready? I'm like, did everybody leave? Just one more ready and I'll read. Who's it gonna be? What's gonna be, boy? Yes or no? What's it gonna be, boy? Yes or no? Let me sleep on it. Baby, baby, let me sleep on it. Gretchen. All right, CK, thank you. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Everybody's ready. Good. All right. Make no mistake. Did the condom break? Or were you just not thinking? Had the two of you been drinking? Did you ask to fill her glass? Was that how you made your pass? My birth date indicates that the timing was right for a loving exchange on Valentine's night. Was it your first time together or perchance your last? Before you had to act so fast to find a doctor to perform abortion on my life unborn. Good luck for me, you were too late, which gave me time to incubate. Was it impulsiveness that launched my life, or a feminine plot she concocted so that she could be your wife? Didn't you consider maybe in her womb could grow a baby? You decided on your own that there should be no future for me. From your enduring genes came one, and now exists a family, grandchildren who, unknown to you, were created unmistakably. You wanted a child, it has to be true. That's why you searched for me instead of me seeing you. If you wanted to see me, then why didn't you give me to somebody close whom you knew? When I was a child, I dreamed of you both. I'd find you one day, and that was my oath. You both lived together through gestation you lasted, only to go and make me a bastard. Why did you do it when you always thought someday you'd locate me and I could be bought? Was searching for me to you just a game? Thinking I was a racehorse you found to be lame? If I was just a random mistake, then what kind of difference would finding me make? You tried to destroy me. You confessed it yourself, along with the promise I'd inherit your wealth. I'm a millionaire, you had to brag. I don't even care because I do not come with any sort of price tag. So, hi, Ashley. All right, thoughts on that? And I didn't end it with a rhyme. So, the neon sign says situation room. This is the situation room. Um, okay, thoughts on that one? That was a lot, right? That's almost as bad as my what is an American? Oh, you want to hear that one? I think I read it to my members group before, but we can read it again. It is actually this what I'm about to read you is the beginning, like the intro to the story. Um no, Don, I'm still up in Pittsburgh. Factual. The sign says situation room. I'm in the situation room. Yeah, not in Florida. I'm freezing cold in Pittsburgh. Okay, let's find this. Okay, so this is the intro to my new sequel. LaDonna wants more. Yeah, confusion. Ashley started wearing maternity clothes. Yeah, get ready for that one, Ashley. Pretty soon, it will not be possible for you to pick anything up. I remember those days. Oh, I'm so excited for you, Ashley. This is so great. And for those of you who don't know, our Ashley girl is going to have twins. Twins! I know, Dawn. I'm sorry. I'll be back in Florida as soon as this baby's born and I get to get my loving in and then I'm going back. I'm back to the sun. Yes, I'm staying till the baby comes. You know it, Renee. Try to stop me. All right. Are you guys ready for me to read this introduction to my new book, 7 Years in Switzerland? Let me know. This will be the first time I'm reading it in like the open public. So let me know what you guys. Am I back? I'm less jealous now that we're sharing similar weather. Yeah, that's great, Gretchen. Wouldn't you rather at least see the beach? Okay, good. I'm back. Okay, Darla's like, read, bitch. No, no, Darla, you didn't call me a bitch. Hi, Eleanor. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so I guess you guys are ready for me to read the introduction to my new book. It's a lot. Darla says I'm going to Florida with you. Okay. All right, here we go. What is an American? I was born into this country, right in the middle of it. Denver, Colorado, November 1965. If I had been born today under the same circumstances as an unwanted pregnancy, I probably wouldn't have survived. My father tried to have me aborted in 1965. Fortunately for me, there were laws against that. He had no rights. Because of that, I lived. My mother gave me up for adoption. And that is how I became an American. An American with the right to exist in this country, but no right to know who I came from. There is and always has been no one more reviled in this country than the illegitimate pregnancy. Apparently, conception at the wrong time to the wrong people is the worst crime a person can commit, a crime punishable by death if the law allows it. Now, Bill wants popcorn. Yes, popcorn for all of you. My mother was devastated when she found out about me. My father was terrified that my mere existence would destroy his future career. When he was denied the right to kill me, he chose another path. He decided that he would control me instead. He wanted me placed into some kind of controlled setting in the mountains of Colorado, where scientists would observe my behavior and attempt to influence my decisions. An experiment, a solution. Hi, Fred. My mother refused. She knew this man would stop at nothing to turn me into his project. So she did the only thing she could to protect me. She gave me away. And on the day I was born, I suffered the greatest tragedy a person can suffer. Instead of being placed into the arms of the woman whose voice I had known for months, I was handed to strangers. Babies know things. By 20 weeks of gestation, babies can hear. And if they can hear, they are listening. Mothers know their babies in the womb, and babies know their mothers. Imagine leaving the only home you have ever known, expecting to be with the person you have been with for 9 months, and she is simply gone. Her voice, her smell, her body, gone. Everyone feels sorry for babies whose mothers die. That is what my mother told people that I had died, but I hadn't. I was alive. I was American, and I was in purgatory. I was punished for existing, punished because my father hated me, obsessed with me. He saw me first as an obstacle and then as a challenge. He failed. I survived. Maybe that is what an American is. Thoughts? Getting hurts. You like it? CK, what are you seeing it like a movie? Alrighty then. Boy, I read you guys a lot of stuff tonight. Hi, Ron. Renee likes it. Yeah, it's just sad a bit. It is, but it's also about survival. Oh, thank you, Fred. I love y'all too. Anyway, my next book, titled 7 Years in Switzerland, it's gonna be a tough one. It's not sad like 9/11, and it took place even before 9/11, so that's not even in there. Tip. Hi, Tony. Welcome. Now I need you to go like and subscribe, my friend. Unless you don't like us and you run away. So it's up to you. Sad, but nice at the end. Okay. Yes, my parents who adopted me definitely loved me. Tony's like, all right, we'll do whatever I'm told. No, I'm glad you're here, Tony. So yeah, so for Tony's benefit, am an author. a journalist, a an editor. Been doing this show for more than 10 years now. And most of the people that you see here, Tony, have been with me for more than 10 years or 10 years. And this is a very close knit group, but we love the new people on YouTube. We started out on Facebook, and then Facebook treated me like crap. And so here I am on YouTube, and I am loving YouTube, and I'm loving meeting new people like you. So we're all happy that you're here. And if you break the rules, you'll be kicked out. No, you seem like you're nice. So sometimes we have problems with trolls, but if you're not a troll, you'll fit in great. And thank you, Darla, very much for the and I can't say shameless self-promotion because Darla's doing it, but Jill Books, Jill writes books. JillBooks.com is my website. And I wrote this book and another book, and I'm working on a couple other books, and I publish books for other people and all sorts of good stuff. Hello, good night, Munchkin, Munchie. How you doing? So so Tony knows what's going on. All right. What do you guys want to hear next? You let me know because I'm gonna have to check out soon. So maybe we can just do something fun or sing a song. And I am not going to read this 9/11 article to you because it is going to make you really sad for sure. I'm looking to see if there's anything else. Oh my gosh. So I've just come across the first draft of this book. This was actually written as a class assignment in college. Um, and I got a 99 on it. Excellent 99. Don't use your real name. And I did. But you know what? I don't care anymore. Thank you. Good night. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that as well. More of Switzerland, huh? You want to hear more about Switzerland? Maybe another night before you head back to Florida. Wait, what? Another night before I head back to Florida? What are we talking about, Gretchen? Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to read you that. Let's see if there's a good poem because I wrote a lot of poetry when I was in Switzerland. And I've got a lot of old papers here in front of me right now. Mhm. Here's another one. So I do talk a lot about abortion, about birth, and I guess this is the time to do that because I am about to become a grandmother for the first time. So I'm kind of all about it, all about the babies. I know, Eleanor, I miss the beach too. Oh, Gretchen wants to hear the 9/11. Okay. Yeah, where are you from, Tony? All right. Well, I'm gonna read about the 9/11, the fighting to live as the towers died. Now, for those of you just coming on, I wrote a book about the way 9/11 changed our society. And Tony's from England. Oh, we have a lot of people from England on the Beach Report, actually. So good to see what we do. So we're doing this week is we're waiting for grandkids. I have one due on Saturday. Saturday or in the week after, or maybe before, we don't know. You know what? Babies are on God's time. So I'm just trying not to think about it. It's kind of impossible, but okay. So I'm going to make you sad right now, and I'm going to read this article that was published on May 27th, 2002. Thank you, Colleen. This is one of the best articles that I had ever read about 9/11, about what happened in the Twin Towers. So, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read you the first part of it, and I'll read more tomorrow. Okay. They began as calls for help, information, guidance. They quickly turned into sounds of desperation and anger and love. Now they are the remembered voices of the men and women who were trapped on the high floors of the Twin Towers. From Last Words, a haunting chronicle of the final 100 minutes at the World Trade Center has emerged, built on scores of phone conversations and email and voice messages from people of the handful of people who escaped, provide the first sweeping views from the floors directly hit by the airplanes and above. Collected by reporters for the New York Times, these last words give human form to an all but invisible strand of this stark public catastrophe. Thank you. Good night. Uh, the advancing destruction across the top 19 floors of the North Tower and the top 33 of the South, where loss of life was most severe on September 11th. Of the 2,823 believed dead in the attack on New York, at least 1,946, or 69%, were killed on those upper floors, an analysis by the Times has found. Rescue workers did not get near them. Photographers could not record their faces. If they were seen at all, it was in glimpses at windows nearly a quarter mile up. Yeah, like messages in an electronic bottle from people marooned at some distant sky. Last words narrate a world that was coming undone. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep it together. This is really hard. A man sends an email message asking, "Any news from outside?" before perching on a ledge at window in the world. A woman reports a colleague is smacking useless sprinkler heads with his shoe. A husband calmly reminds his wife about their insurance policies and then says that the floor is groaning beneath him and tells her that she and their children meant the world to him. It's, it's terrible. Sorry, guys. Meant the world to him. No single call can describe scenes that were unfolding at terrible velocities in many places. Taken together, though, the words from the upper floors offer not only a broad and chilling view of the devastated zones, but the only window into acts of bravery. Sorry. Acts of bravery at a brutal time. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I think we should not read this anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't think it would be that quick that I would lose it. So sorry about that, you guys. But the reason that I am reading that is because I have to write the sequel to my book because the 25th anniversary of 9/11 is in just a few months. Thank you, Tony. And I think we should sing our song. I don't even know if I can sing right now, but that's a really good idea, Gretchen. All right. Here, I'm gonna let you look at popcorn. I'm gonna go get a tissue. I'll be right back. For those of you who are new to the Beach Report, so the first book I ever published was about the way 9/11 changed our society. And the reason I wrote this book is because, and I don't have a copy of it right here, but no, I don't. Um, but the reason I wrote the book was because my brother actually is a survivor of 9/11. And Darla's working on the popcorn. Great. Yes, yeah, we're done with that for now. For now, but we do have to face it. We do have to talk about it because it is important. And it needs to be remembered. It really does. So anyway, if tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and if I had to start again with just my children in my life, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands, freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Yeah, Tony, I know what you're going through in England too. I know that you are facing some very hard times, and that being English now seems to be it's like you don't belong in your own country, right? We're all watching, and we do see the terrible times that are coming for people in Europe if they continue to embrace people who don't belong in their countries. Let's just say it like that. So, I'm glad you're here, Tony, and I'm glad you love America, and I'm sorry for what you're going through over there in Great Britain. Hi, Michael Anthony. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. All right, it's okay. Good night. That's why we have moderators. But you didn't get kicked off, so you're still all right. Anyway, I do want to say this about all of us. You know that we can collectively change our reality. And if we all try to think peaceful, happy thoughts and, make people feel good instead of afraid, one of the worst things that you can do is to spread fear, because fear is what ruins a good time for everybody. People come from across the world, yeah, are here, and that is cool. But the people who are here need to do it the legal way. And one of the things about my book, 7 Years in Switzerland, that's interesting is I do learn a lot about immigration. And I ended up immigrating to Switzerland from America. Not a lot of people do that. But I did it because I had started to lose faith and hope in America, actually. And one of the things that really drove me away was noticing that the food was geoengineered or full of crap, and people were eating chemicals, and The things that the things that we were eating in Switzerland were like fresh fruits and vegetables. In fact, it would come out of my little village house. If I needed eggs, I could go down to the farmer's wife down the street and she'd pull eggs out from under a chicken. So I don't want the news about wars and all that because God wouldn't want us worrying about this if we have true faith in him. I agree with you on that, Nicole. And that's why I do try to always make the beach report be a place that's kind of a refuge from the really bad news. And I never, ever want to scare you. In fact, if I want anything, I want you guys to start thinking about all of us as individuals, not part of a group. Yes, I love my country and I love Make America Great Again, but it kind of makes me sad when people are like, "Oh, you're the MAGA girl." I'm not the MAGA girl. I'm the girl who loves my country. I'm the girl who wants to see things get better for all of us. And I left this country because of a lot of reasons. Um, and I just think that if you love your country, you should stay and defend it. And I am one of those people who thought I had to leave. And I did leave for a long time. And then I found out that America is the greatest place on earth and that I still wanted to be a part of the American dream. Hi, Jetty. It's so good to see you again. Freedom is the best reason. I agree, Jenny. And when I lived in Switzerland, I learned that that is a socialist society. And socialism, it's a slippery slope to the big C. So people ask me, do you actually like Trump? I don't know what to say. Well, here's what you can say, Nicole. Say, I like what Trump is doing to save our country because prior to this, our country was in free fall. People don't like Trump because they're criminals and they want to keep getting away with criminality. And President Trump is stopping the criminals. He has showed us the fact, and his helpers have showed us how our country is fraudulent on so many levels. And Trump is strong. You're right. Good night, because never before in history have we had somebody really fight for us the way that he is. And anybody who turns against him, who used to like him and now all of a sudden they don't, well, I have to wonder if they ever liked him before. Thank you, Rodolfo. I will never, ever stop talking about how great I think our president is and how proud I am of him and how great it's been to see him hard at work, trying to make not just America safe, but the whole world. So thank you, Tony. Did you know I turned out to be a no, I am never ashamed of who I am and what I say and do. I believe everything I say is coming from my heart. And yes, I do get hit by the trolls pretty hard, which is why I had to say what I said, Tony. We do have people come on the beach report who are maybe paid to be here and be nasty, or they're just, I don't know. Yes, and they keep trying to do away with him. And that should tell you everything you need to know. The one man that they're trying to get rid of might be the only man who can save us. So at least Trump has backbone. Well, we voted for him for you, Rodolfo, and I'm glad that you can see that our not just our country, but our world needs President Trump. And yes, Tony, I am very proud and happy to see people like you here, as opposed to the people who just want to spew hatred. Oh, Munchie. I think that's a song, but we're not going to post that. All right, you guys. So I get so much peace from no news. Jesus Christ is my firm foundation. Well, that's true, Nicole. And I do think that it is important that all of us, hi, Moon Dog, it's important that we do all put our faith and our trust in Jesus. Um, There is no reason to be afraid. And when you see the news, and I know right now they're trying to make us afraid of the hantavirus or whatever, it's like, are they going to get away with that again? Thank you, James. I'm glad you're here. It's just so silly that they're trying to scare us with yet another virus, especially one that is only transmissible by rodents. So I guess if you live in a rodent infested whatever, you could be scared. But the rest of us are not afraid of the hantavirus or any other viruses anymore, ever again, because we are better together when we are really stronger, when we stop listening to these corporations and hi, Mr. Inappropriate. The Hannah banana virus, exactly. So I am not afraid of anything, and I've never been afraid of anything. And I'm going to tell you here's a little story time story for you about the COVID virus. Yeah, well, the preacher's right, because all throughout the Bible, God tells you don't be afraid of anything. Don't be afraid of anything. Oh, it's random user. I love your name, Mr. Inappropriate. That's funny. All right. Well, we're glad you're back, random. I mean, Mr. Inappropriate. What would you like us to call you? What's your real name? Yes, the United States of America. Tony gets it. Stop going all you can eat buffets on the cruise ship. I think that would help. Who wants to go on a cruise now? Not me. Heck no. Well, Munchie, we all have to protect ourselves at this point. Okay, so I've got two stories to tell you. One, I want to tell you about a dream I had uh, early this morning. I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning, and the sun was shining and it was Pittsburgh, and I was like, wow. And then I closed my eyes and I fell back asleep. And when I fell back to sleep, I had this weird dream. Yeah, nobody's going on cruises except for Tony. Is that what you're saying, Tony? You're gonna go on a cruise? No, no, Tony's not going on a cruise. Yeah, no, nobody should be going on cruises these days. I mean, it seems like a really bad idea, right? Anyway, so I had this dream this morning of I saw the ocean and I was running to go to be at the ocean. Thank you, Tony. And I'm booking it to the ocean. I'm like, I gotta see the ocean. And as soon as I got there, all of a sudden I realized that the ocean is below this. It's not a cliff, but it's sand that is so like packed, but sand, and it's like a cliff of sand. And I know that if I fall down the sand, I'm not going to be able to get back up. So I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? So I'm in this like situation where I'm kind of dangling off of a cliff of sand, and I'm doing one of these, trying to dig in the sand to get a footing so I don't fall down. Jetty says, just saying that's what happened to them. They all shared the food scoop after cleaning their poop. People are disgusting. Oh, no, does that really? Did that really happen, Jetty? That's kind of horrible. I don't even know if it really is a cruise. I gotta wonder. Anyway, so I'm having this dream, right? And I'm in the sand and I'm like trying to pull all this thank you, Nicole. And and I'm trying to get my footing on the sand, and I start thinking, help, 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 who's gonna help me? And there seems like there's people around me, but I realized pretty fast that is what happened. Wow, Jetty, that's horrible. That's really horrible and disgusting. Anyway, so I'm having this dream that I'm like perched on the edge of the sand cliff and I'm trying to dig my way out, but I'm also thinking someone needs to help me. I need help. I cannot possibly do this myself, right? I'm like, oh no. Well, I do finally pull myself up out of the sand. Cross contamination. Yeah, that's a bad thing. Totally. And Thank you, Munchie. Thank you, Jay. So finally, I pulled myself out of the sand, and so I've spent the whole day wondering, what the heck was that dream all about? And I looked it up, and it's like, if you have a dream that you're falling, it means that you might be worried about something. You might have a situation in your life that you can't control that's freaking you out. And so I've thought about all these things, and I do think that I do feel like I've got a lot on my plate, and I'm going to be a grandmother, and that's a big deal to me. And not that it really, like, gives me responsibility or anything, I mean, not the mom, so there's that, but I just think that I'm going through something. I really am. I don't know. But I got up, I didn't hit the ground, and I did save myself, but so I think that the other half of my dream, not just the falling down and being afraid, is the fact that I took control of it, even though I wanted help and I asked for help. Nobody helped me. So I think that's kind of a sign too. I'm on my own. But it's okay because I got up that hill by myself. So I think it was a good dream that made me feel like I'm capable of saving myself. So thank you, Munchie. And if you really want to support me, please go to my website, jillbooks.com, and consider buying a book. Except for you, Tony, because you're in England and I'm not sending books to England. That's too expensive. However, I am working on a audiobook because everyone's asking about audiobooks. So and then, I can sell audiobooks digitally. So I know I need to do that. And there's a lot of things I need to do to help myself. So which is one of the reasons why I feel like, oh no, I'm falling down a cliff. However, I can save myself. But it's hard to be by yourself and have to do everything by yourself. Again, I can now. And that's right, I'm selling books and muffin pillows. What's a muffin pillow? Well, my little dog that passed away more than a year ago, but I made a pillow out of her and she's super cute. So you can check that out. You might be able to buy that, Tony. I'm not sure. Barbara says dreaming about cliffs and or falling means you are on the edge of a miracle. What really? Okay, okay. I'm gonna go with that. I am definitely gonna go with that. Thank you, Barbara. I'm so glad that you said that. Jetty says we're never really by ourselves. God's always with us. So true as well. And Munchie, nobody wants a girlfriend like me. Hell to the no. God loves you more than you will ever know. This I know and do believe, and I am always walking in faith. So it's all good, you guys. Sometimes, we have our little doubts or whatever. And oh wait, look, Airhead's here. I think Airhead doesn't like me. Airhead thinks I'm looking for attention. Well, I'm getting it, so look no further, right? It's my party and I'll laugh if I want to, cry if I want to, read if I want to. And I'll sing too. You would do it too if it was your show, but it's not, it's mine. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm a cheeky girl, want lots of attention. Don't we all? Don't we all deserve the attention too? We do. We all deserve it. I love you guys. You're so much fun. Yeah, who the hell wouldn't like me? Tony, you would be surprised. You would be surprised. I'll tell you who wouldn't like me. So I've learned this, and I've been actually researching about why people hate me so much on YouTube and Facebook. It's I don't have this problem on Facebook. It's mostly on YouTube. So if it's a man, it's because they feel that they could never date a woman like me. So they're very I guess they're gonna reject me before I have a chance to reject them. That's what men do. This is what I'm thinking. You tell me if I'm right, Tony, because you're a man. So yeah. Yeah, well, UPM, or whatever, UMC, or whatever that person, I forget that person's name because I don't care. But yeah, so the men will come on and they'll either be sexually disgusting, or they'll say things that are just downright rude and mean. And that's just because they think they're going to get me, or they're going to me, or I can reject them. Does that sound right? Jetty says, there's a lot of things out there, yeah, who despise Jill. They're typically demons. Yeah, and there's that too. Barbara says, control. Who needs it? The only one I want to control is myself. Tyler says, my dog is sleeping and just jumped. Oh, is that my fault? Did I make your dog Bentley jump? Gretchen, I'm so glad you're here too. We have lot of wonderful people here. And Munchie, you got to be respectful. We still like you, Munchie, but just be respectful. Um, yeah, that's the thing, Tony. I don't care about the haters. I don't care about them at all. So the reason the women hate me is also jealousy. So they see me, they think they're gonna have to, they're gonna have to put me down. They're gonna have to make me feel lower than they already feel. So a lot of the reasons that people hate me is because they already have these preconceived notions about, me and who I am as it relates to them. So anytime you see somebody hating you, if you do shows on Facebook or YouTube or anything, you'll get used to it. And you'll find out that the people who are the nastiest to you are the jealous people. Oh, your dog is screaming. Is that a miracle? I don't know. Don't mess with my miracle, Darla. I'm serious. I'm like all about the miracle thing. So Tony is so right. Jealousy is one of the dumbest human emotions that there is. Totally agree with you. And it also makes people look really stupid. So when you see people come on the beach report and they have really nasty things to say, it's because they have problems and they're showing us who they are. It's not about me. It's all about them. Jenny says, I can't divide the demons into subcategories. They just come in many forms. Sound familiar? Yeah, Jenny knows. Jenny knows. Well, everybody knows. But anyway, thank you. Oh, that's so nice that you said that, Tony. I'm so glad you're here. You definitely belong on the Beach Report. So please subscribe and like and consider being a member, because on our member shows, we don't have any trolls. But then again, I often do get rid of the trolls just by letting everybody know that's another reason that they come on and they hate me, because they're paid. So yeah, they hate President Trump, so they gotta hate me too. Eleanor says they're just jealous and not interested in many things. Also. All right, Darla. Oh, wait. Oh. Darla's ready to kick Munchie off, so Munchie, you better watch out, because my mods are here to make sure that the chat is safe for me and my friends. And another thing about me is that I don't date. I am a widow, still married to my husband in heaven, and I have no desire boyfriend or anything like that. Also a point of consternation with the men who think that every woman who is yeah, and here we got somebody who doesn't like it when people stop them from being potty mouthed. But that's why we have mods on the face on the beach report, because of the potty mouths. The people come on and they're, yeah, fuck yeah. Exactly, we love our mods, and they keep us safe and having a good time, because it's not fun to have people say crap to you, and I don't have to put up with it. You so corrected it, Jenny. You so corrected it. But I have a lot of really wonderful people who follow me, and I want to talk to them, not to the haters, not to the nasty people. So I can tell that you have respect, Tony, and for that I am grateful, because it is not fun to deal with the mods. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit fun because Actually, I have changed them, and sometimes I've had them even apologize for the nasty things they say because maybe they just don't know how to treat a woman. And that happens too. We get a lot of young men on this show who like really don't know how to talk to women or anyone. So sometimes we have to teach them. But we do the best we can. All right, you guys. Well, it's getting kind of late and unless you have something else that you would like to do, if there's a song you want to sing, let me know, or I'm going to say ciao for now. So let me know what you guys are into. I'm not reading any more about 9/11 because that was way too sad. God bless you too, all of you, Jetty and everybody else. Yes, that's what we do, Tony. Well, we don't make fun of all the haters because you do have to realize that some of the people who come on, like I said, they just don't know how to talk to people and maybe they need a little bit of help. And if they really, really hate me, then they really need help because, like you said, how could you hate me? Sherry loves me. I always love you too, Sherry. But it does kind of boggle my mind, these people who come on and they hate me. But I think a lot of the time they just really hate President Trump. So anybody who likes President Trump, they're gonna hate you. In fact, sometimes they come on and they don't know that I am a Trump supporter and they like me until they find that out. So that's also a problem. Wait a minute, Barbara. No, wait. Who timed out? Who timed out Jetty? No, I can't time out Jetty. What happened? Don't do that. All right, you guys. Well, I have to go to bed now. And it is that time again. So I'll see you on tomorrow's beach report, still in Pittsburgh. And love you too, Barbara. So good to see you. And thank you guys for spending this time with me and listening to my readings of my new book and helping me to kind of put it all together. Really, really appreciate that. All right, you guys, we'll see you on tomorrow's beach report. Ciao for now.